Okay, we're reacting to more videos today. Pretty controversial, I think. Is it? Who knows?
So that was a f***ing lie.
Anyway, the title of this video is Why Don't Asians Commit Crimes?
Boring.
Asians commit crimes. I mean, they do, but not nearly as much as any other ethnic group, in America or around the world. And it's not just a stereotype, but a statistical fact that shows up everywhere you look. From Tokyo to Toronto, New York to San Francisco, Asian communities consistently rank as the safest.
Why do you think that, chat? Or actually there's like one viewer here.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I know what it's like to be an Asian because I am Asian. I think the one thing is all about the family dynamic. The family dynamic. Of course, this is also a generalization, and it probably doesn't apply to every Asian person, but it applies to a lot. I would confidently say the majority of Asian people and Asian individuals and Asian families all across the world. But I think the thing is about, I know this is a cliche, but honor. Because the thing is, even growing up, my parents will always say, when you act out in public and all that stuff, you want to act a fool, right? You don't just represent yourself, you represent your family.
I don't have friends. I got family.
That poverty equals crime and Asians do better financially. But as it turns out, that's really not true. And it's not.
I mean, I was a poor Asian.
The elephant in the room is this. What makes Asians so incredibly law-abiding in normal times? And what makes them absolute terrors during wartime? In the next few minutes, you'll learn some fascinating truths about culture, crime, and human nature that...
Well, to be fair, I think the most recent would be Japan, right? Obviously, Vietnam was a pretty strong force in the Vietnam War. Japan was pretty a strong force in World War II. Obviously, we know about Genghis Khan in Mongolia. China's also a great, you know. Obviously, they're not an empire now, but China is a great country, or a powerful country, basically, that's been alive for thousands of years.
Challenge everything you may think about what you know that makes communities safe or dangerous. We'll look at Asian crime numbers, including the broken link between poverty and crime. We'll investigate how Asian family and culture helps prevent crime, and we'll look at Asian...
But Asians do a lot commit... So Asians obviously don't commit the most homicides, assaults, battery, and all that, but they do commit a lot of gambling, money laundering, pretty much all like I'll say the white-collar crimes.
Countries during wartime when those social structures turned ugly. There's a lot we can learn from all of this. So let's start with the United States, because the numbers here are striking. Now, comparing crime rates by ethnicity makes some people queasy, but ignoring them just isn't an answer to anything. When you look at crime rates on a per capita basis in the United States, you almost always see the same pattern. At the top are Native Americans and Black Americans, Hispanics, whites, Asians. Looking at the raw numbers for Asians is eye-opening. They make up about 7% of the US population, but only 1.3% of the total arrests, only 1% of murderers, 1.7% of rapes, 1% of robberies. There's only one category of crime where Asians...
Like I said, gambling. I knew it.
are actually overrepresented gambling. They apparently...
Yep. Would I say gambling? No, like money laundering, all that white-collar, high-end stuff.
Most of the world is Asian, almost 60% of the Earth's total population. So we're...
Really? Well, actually, that makes sense. I mean, Asia is the biggest continent in the world, right? Well, no. I'm sorry. That's stupid. That is very... I'm very dumb. I am very dumb. No, it's Antarctica. It's Antarctica, right? I'm so sorry. That is the most stupidest thing I've ever said in my life. I am sorry. Oh, it's Asia. Never mind. I was right. It's from biggest to smallest is Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. I thought Australia was bigger than Europe.
Oh, really dumb. For real.
Jeez Louise. You know what?
looking at a lot of countries and billions of people. But in general, crime rates in Asian countries are just incredibly low. And the region that stands out by far the most is East Asia: Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong, and China. Japan has a murder rate of 0.2.
How about North Korea? Come on, you gotta include them, right?
You serious?
Japan, South Korea.
Dude, you're being discriminatory.
Alright, like what? Alright, so like.
In Tokyo, you'll see little kids riding the subway, going alone to school.
That's true.
People leave their cell phones.
That's true. I would know. And there are two reasons why I know. Number one, I watch anime. I've been watching since I was 5 years old.
Good job.
And number two, I just went to Japan 2 months ago.
Here we go again.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep bringing it up. I don't care. I'm gonna be that guy.
Arrests, reported victimization rates, murder stats, you name it. Asian poverty doesn't translate into Asian crime in America or in Asia. And when you think about it,
Yeah, so obviously poverty, right? Your financial situation is a huge part, number one part, right? But the thing is, for Asians, a good number of them are living underneath the poverty line. So at that point, if it's not jeez, my brain's not working. If it's not your financial situation, then it has to be culture.
Asian Americans have the highest rate of two-parent households of any group in America. About 80% of Asian kids live with both parents. The national average, about 63%. And kids born to single Asian moms, only 15% compared to 40% nationally. Two parents means...
Yeah, man. Look, obviously, whatever I say, I'm not judging anyone. But I remember I told someone, where I was having a conversation with an individual, and I said, I think for kids, having a two-parent household is statistically, right, way better for the child or the children than a one-parent household. And then this individual got mad at me. It's like, no, I'm not saying just because you're a single parent, you're a bad parent. I'm just saying, look at the paper. If you look at the stats, a two-parent household is better for the children or the child for their upbringing, right? Obviously, you'd be a single parent, be a great parent, and your child could be an amazing person, an amazing contributor to society. I'm not saying that they're going to be a negative or a net negative, essentially, to society, but it's just a fact.
Dad are both watching. It's harder for kids to get into trouble. And Asian parents, well, they're famous for keeping tabs on their kids. I mean, we joke about tiger moms, but that kind of attention keeps kids focused. And it goes way deeper than just having two parents at home. In most Asian households, there's something that sounds outdated to American ears. There's a strict hierarchy. Parents aren't trying to be their kids' best friend.
True.
They're there to guide, discipline, and set expectations.
Which I think parents should do. When you're a parent, you shouldn't try to be their best friend. Maybe later in life, when they're older, right? You could, when they're out the house, or just like when they're in college age, right? 19, 20. But in the young age, at the young age, when they're young, right? No, you shouldn't try to be their friend. You got to be the matriarch and the patriarch, essentially.
And those expectations, they set them high. Education isn't just encouraged, it's like a religion. Other kids are hanging out at the mall, and Asian kids are often at after-school programs, tutoring sessions, or music lessons.
No.
And then there's the concept of shame.
I just mentioned that right now. Remember, I mentioned it in the beginning of the video. Shame. Shame is an amazing deterrent for uncivilized behavior. You can hate me on it, you could disagree with me on it, that's fine. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to say 10 toes down. Shame. Of course, shaming everything is not good, right? There's obviously an appropriate amount of things, right? But I think shame is an amazing deterrent for uncivilized behavior.
A massive factor that Westerners just don't fully understand. In Asian cultures, if you screw up, you're not just shaming yourself, you're shaming your entire family.
And I just said that, didn't I? I just said that.
Okay. The concept of shame is tightly intertwined with the concept of face, dignity, and reputation. Losing face isn't just embarrassing, it's a cultural wound. If an Asian kid gets arrested, it's not just gossip. It can affect the family's standing in the community for years. Business relationships might suffer. Marriage prospects for siblings could be damaged. The stakes are really real.
That is true. Very, very, very true. Every single thing he just said is true. Obviously, it's a generalization, right? But everything he said was on point.
You'll see Japanese executives bowing on TV, apologizing for corporate mistakes. Or Korean politicians resigning over minor scandals that...
Minor scandals? Wasn't she the one person in the cult? Yeah, she was a former president. Was she the former? Was that her? I think that was her, chat. There was a former president of Korea that was part of a cult.
What? We're flying to Philadelphia! Oh, hell no!
Okay, so there's also what I call future focus. While some kids are looking for quick money or street respect, Asian families are typically playing the long game. Study hard, get into a good college.
Yeah, see, the Coldplay concert. Let's say a Chinese CEO was at a Mayday concert with their, I don't know, secretary, and they got caught cheating. Bro, that CEO is cooked. He's done.
Another crucial thing to mention is stronger communities. Asian neighborhoods, both in the United States and abroad, they tend to have tighter social networks, like micro-societies with layers of informal...
Which is crazy because I only have... Which is, you know, it's actually crazy because I live in a city that's like over 60% Asian, right? But now I only have, personally, I only have like three or four Asian friends. I mean, the fourth one, he's half Asian, so I guess he counts. But, but yeah, it's crazy. I only have four, and all my other friends, chat, are either white, black, Hispanic, and there's a few Polynesians. Other than that, I have almost zero Asian friends, which is absolutely crazy.
In the Nanjing massacre, Japanese troops killed over 300,000 Chinese civilians in just 6 weeks. They mass-produced rape centers and treated their prisoners of war worse than any country in modern times. Torture, starvation. They killed about a third of Allied POWs, compared to about 4% of POWs who died in Nazi captivity. And if you ever want to check out a dark place, research Unit 731.
Oh, I think isn't 731 the reason why we know the human body is made up of like 70% of water?
Where unimaginable experiments were done on other human beings. And it's not unique to Japan. Look at Cambodia under the Khmer Rouge, where normal people were turned into mass...
Matter of fact, Chuck, did you know when... I forgot what it was called, but when the people of Unit 731, right? Like the top people, the scientists, whatever, a lot of them were actually... obviously, they're under trial for war crimes, essentially, right? Crimes against humanity. But apparently, I believe they were, what's it called? What was that word where they're let go? But they were let go as long as they gave all their scientific research to us, to America, right? And they're pretty much like got a slap on the wrist, essentially. A slap on the wrist, but give us all information. And that's why we know a lot about the human body, was because of them, right? Obviously, not a good way to know, right? Fuck.
Props up a brutal regime. Or China today and the Uyghur genocide. How does a society flip like that? Well, it's the very cultural traits that usually prevent crime: group loyalty, respect for authority, collective responsibility. They get weaponized. Propaganda frames their enemies as subhuman, and social conformity turns ugly. Soldiers...
And the crazy thing is, it's not even been 100 years, chat. That is the crazy... People who went through this and lived through it are still living today.
So look, you probably know as much as I do about this, and I'm interested in any of your thoughts on it, so comment below. And if you want to learn some more about what I was talking about in World War II, I dug into why the United States dropped not one, but 2 nuclear bombs on Japan within a few...
I believe they dropped the nukes to show Russia their power, right? Essentially.
days. The modern narrative is that it was all about scaring the Russians.
Oh.
That's just wrong.
Oh, I'm wrong? Never mind, Chad, I'm wrong. I'm
had more to do with all the things I've been talking about in this video. Look, I love researching and sharing info like this. If you found it a worthwhile trip, come back and do it again.
Bro, hell yeah, bro. This is a great fucking channel, dude. Let me subscribe real quick. Let me like that, bro. Who would dislike this video, chat? The thing is, I don't understand about there could be some perfect ass videos, right? Or just completely great, right? And you dislike it for what?